Today, we're going to do something that'll fundamentally change the way you look at every single app on your phone. Seriously, we're going to go way beyond just the colors and fonts to uncover the hidden decisions, the secret architecture that guides your every tap. We are conducting an autopsy on the apps you use every day. So let's get started. So let me start by asking you a question that really gets to the heart of all this. When you open up an app, what's your first instinct? Do you see yourself as an artist? Someone who's focused on the beauty, the aesthetics? Or do you see yourself as a detective? Someone looking for clues, trying to figure out the why behind it all? That choice, that one little shift in perspective, is the key to everything we're about to uncover. And this comparison just frames it perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have the decorator. They're asking, how can I make this look cooler? They're focused on pixels, on adding visual excitement. But on the other side, you have the architect. And the architect is asking a much, much deeper question. What is the one thing the user's trying to do here? They're all about user intent and making decisions crystal clear. Look, it's easy to be a decorator, but our goal today is to start thinking like an architect. So, to make that jump from decorator to architect, we're going to need a method, a framework that lets us think like a detective. And that method is called the app autopsy.
Now let's be super clear about this. An app autopsy is not about redesigning something to make it look better. It's an investigation. It's about taking a screen and piece by piece, taking it apart to understand why it was built the way it was. We're on the hunt for that invisible logic that guides every single tap and swipe.
Okay, let's put this whole method to the test with our very first case study, WhatsApp. And the thing about apps we use every day is that we get so used to them. That familiarity can actually make us blind to the genius that's hiding in plain sight. So before we even really look at the interface, we have to ask ourselves one brutally simple question. What is this screen for? What is the one single thing it is absolutely designed to make you do? It's not about making a call. It's not about sending a GIF. The single most important action is to send a message. Everything else has to get out of the way. And you can see exactly how WhatsApp nails this focus. The primary decision, typing a message, is impossible to miss. The input field is massive. The send button is right where your thumb expects it. Think about where your eye goes. You look at the last message, and then bam, right down to the input field. But now notice what's not prominent. The call buttons, the menu options, they're basically buried. Why? Because making an accidental phone call is a socially expensive mistake, right? It's awkward. So the design actually adds friction on purpose just to protect you from yourself.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. A beginner designer might want to add all sorts of flashy animations and gradients to WhatsApp, but that would absolutely destroy it. Its success comes from being ruthlessly focused on decision clarity, not visual excitement. It's a utility, and it's brilliant because it never, ever tries to be anything else.
Okay, for our next autopsy, we're going to tackle something much, much harder. The Uber ride request screen. See, unlike WhatsApp, which has one clear goal, this screen has to juggle a bunch of competing decisions all at once. And honestly, this is where most apps just completely fall apart.
I mean, think about it. In this one single view, you've got to set your pickup spot, pick a destination, choose what kind of car you want, and confirm you're ready to pay. If Uber just threw all of that at you at the same time, you'd freeze up. It's a classic case of decision paralysis. So their job isn't to make it beautiful, it's to compress all those decisions into something manageable.
And here's the genius of how they do it. Uber forces you into a sequence. It's a one-way street. You can't choose your ride type until you've set a destination. You can't hit confirm until everything else is done. This isn't about giving you freedom, it's something called guided constraint. And it turns out really good user experience is often just a little bit authoritarian. They pull off this sequence with this brilliant visual stack. Think about it like layers. Way up top, you've got the map. That's just for context. You don't really touch it. In the middle, that's your current task, the destination field. And everything else, all the next steps, they're tucked away in that sheet at the bottom, only becoming active right when you need them. They're literally hiding the future from you until it's time.
Okay, now for the secret that most people totally miss, and it's a big one. The most prominent, eye-catching visual on the entire screen, the map, is a liar.
The map looks super important, right? But it's not where the action is. Its real job is psychological. Seeing those little cars moving around reduces your anxiety about how long you have to wait. Seeing the route drawn out makes the price feel more justified. It's a tool for reassurance, not a tool for control. All the real work is happening in those little fields and buttons below it.
All right, for our final autopsy, we're taking a very sharp turn. WhatsApp and Uber, they're tools. They're designed to help you do something.
But our third subject, Instagram, well, Instagram has a very, very different goal in mind.
And look, this isn't some accident. It is the entire point of its design. Once you understand that Instagram's real product isn't photos, it's your attention, every single design decision they make suddenly makes perfect and kind of terrifying sense.
So, let's ask our core autopsy question one last time. What is the single most important action on the Instagram home feed? Think about it for a sec. Where's the main button? What are you actually supposed to do?
The main action is invisible. There is no button. The action is just to scroll. That's it. There's no decision to make, no friction, no natural stopping point. This isn't just about making it convenient for the user. This is behavioral hijacking.
The engine that powers that infinite scroll is a psychological mechanism copied directly from casino slot machines. It's called a variable reward loop. You scroll and maybe you get a reward, a post from a friend you love, or maybe you get an ad. Maybe it's boring. That total unpredictability creates a dopamine spike in your brain that makes you want to pull the lever, to scroll again and again and again, hunting for that next hit.
And this brings us to a really crucial line in the sand. We have the tools, we have the psychology to design systems that maximize engagement, that keep people glued to a screen for hours. But the architect, the real architect, has to ask a bigger question. Just because you can do that, does it mean you should? And that's a question every single designer has to answer for themselves.
So, after dissecting three completely different apps, what have we actually learned here? Let's put all the pieces together before I leave you with one final assignment.
This table, right here, this is the core of the entire thing. See, WhatsApp is built for intent. Its goal is to help you communicate efficiently and then get you out of there. Uber is built for a task, to get you from point A to point B as smoothly as possible. But Instagram is built for compulsion. Its entire goal is to maximize the time you spend inside the app. Three completely different goals, leading to three fundamentally different designs.
All right, now it is your turn. I want you to pick one app you use every single day and perform your own mini autopsy. Ask yourself, what is this app's true goal? How does its design enforce that goal? And what's one potential ethical risk in its design? You don't need any fancy design tools for this, just your brain. This is how you start to train yourself to see what really matters.
And that brings us right back to where we started. After seeing how these apps are really built, what's your answer now? Are you going to keep focusing on the surface, on the pixels and the pretty colors? Or will you embrace the mindset of the architect and start seeing the hidden decisions that are shaping our entire digital world? The choice is yours.